Town, Crazy
Hey
Town,
everybody.
VO Journey Academy Live with your hosts Anthony Pica,
I'm Gabby Nistic.
and she's Gabby. She's
Yeah,
back.
I
She's
am.
back from the depths of despair. Gabby, it's great to have you back.
I'm happy to be back. It was weird and I didn't like it. Things some gear blew up. It's fixed now.
You know, it's so funny. I actually love what we do here because as it happens, right, in real time.
Yeah,
As we talk about things and as the days go on, it happens to us. It happens to everybody.
really. I mean
You know what I
it's
mean? So
just
what do you think happened? Was it a storm?
so
You've had a
we
lot
had
of
a
storms.
yeah, we've had a bunch of storms. We had like a rolling brownout last week. And it was really strange because I remember commenting on this. So I had a load of laundry in the dryer, right? And the
Uh-huh.
dryer was running. The TV and the internet turned off. It was enough of a power surge to actually like shut some things down. But the dryer kept running. And I remember going, huh, that's odd. And then the next morning when I came into the studio, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to reset the video room
Right.
because usually when there's a power outage, all my lights, like everything, this whole area resets. It was
Wow.
all still running.
That is
And
so
then,
crazy.
yeah, and then it just, yeah, proved itself to be
Huh.
extremely problematic. So something got fried.
Man,
Yeah.
well, that's speaking of
Mm.
this topic, we were speaking yesterday, or we
Yeah.
were talking a little bit yesterday about business insurance.
Oh.
And I was talking about how, interestingly enough, I never pursued, I've never pursued business insurance on my business.
Hmm.
However, I had opened briefly a trailer rental business, but then the city said you got to rezone, and I said no, thank you. So I
Oh,
stopped that.
boo.
Yes, but in the meantime, though, I learned a lot about uh, business insurance on that one. Do you know what I mean? And so forth. And I
Hmm.
think that it is an interesting thought because like example, what happened to you, and for example, with me earlier in the year, remember my computer like just
Yeah.
went kaput, and I had to spend about 2 grand on a new computer. You know what I
It's
mean? And I
such
think it is
garbage, man.
interesting. I mean, I think the thing with business insurance, at least for us, if you, I don't know
Mm,
if you, we could talk about it, is that it's one of those things where, that one could put for you, my computer one could put, but
mm-hmm,
previously
mm-hmm.
to that, my computer had lasted for like 8 years, 8 or 9 years. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
sometimes, like I
yeah.
don't know how often our stuff goes out, like depending on the premium it costs to have business insurance. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I have a rider on my homeowner's insurance specifically for the business,
Oh, okay.
but it covers it covers equipment, it covers a bunch of other stuff, but I mean, I see it as what it is. I see it as like a catastrophic kind of situation.
Yes,
So like
yes.
the deductible's really high, you know?
Right, right.
So like in this case, the piece of gear that I had to replace was, $250. The gas to drive to go get it because I wanted to have it in hand immediately,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of inconvenience, but that would have come nowhere near the deductible. So it's kind of like,
Sure.
what's the
I guess
point?
that's a really good point too. What's the level of engine? I guess now that I think about it, my microphone probably would be very smart to have some sort of insurance on that one
Yeah,
because that
yeah,
one's
and I
that
mean
one's super
that's
expensive.
yeah,
Um,
that's why I have the rider. I mean, it's a
that's
good
really
little
smart. So you just had them
addition.
put it on
Yep,
your like just homeowners insurance?
just on my homeowner's insurance policy. Yep, yeah, because
Huh.
you can put.
Well,
It's
they'll
really
they'll
funny. You
insure
can put.
anything. I guess
Oh,
they'll
yes, you
they'll
can
take your
put
money for
almost
anything.
anything on your
Hmm.
homeowner's insurance policy as a rider. You can put like inheritance, you can put antiques, you can put jewelry, you can put
Right,
so
right,
there's
right. Yeah, yeah.
so many things it can cover. And it's just, yeah, I mean it raises your rate, but usually minutely
Mm-hmm.
compared to getting true business insurance, which typically deals with liability. And we don't have a lot of that,
Right,
you
right.
know?
That's true. That is very
Yeah.
true. Yeah, yeah. No, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. And and I think that's always another, when you look at the liability insurance and people talk about, do we get sued? And
Yeah.
does that happen to us a lot? And at first glance, you would just generally think it's important to have these sorts of things. But I mean, I don't know, Gabby. Have you? I've never. I mean, knock God forbid, knock
We
on
don't
wood.
look,
But
this
we
is
don't
how I look at it.
typically get sued.
We don't go into other people's homes,
Right.
right? Or we don't have people come into our business space
Right.
typically, right? We don't host anybody. Um, what we do in terms of the products that we deliver, there's very little libel or liability there.
Mm-hmm.
There's only two situations that I could see voice actors encountering. One is if you signed an NDA and you breached it,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
But insurance isn't going to cover you there. You need a lawyer.
You need a lawyer. Right.
You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you breached an NDA,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, insurance isn't going to do a damn thing. So that's one of the potentially litigious areas that we could face.
Mm-hmm.
And the other would be like, I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, this is where we see occasionally situations with coaches
Mm.
and, misappropriation of funds or some other, behavior there that becomes problematic. And those are the people that are the most likely to have a litigious action taken against them. But voice actors, like
Well, and it's
I
usually
can't think of
too, and it's
anything.
usually too if because you're right, the size of what we're doing. Now, if
Yeah.
someone, I mean, if someone was doing something I could see and probably on large ticket items,
Mm,
things that cost thousands of dollars, right? Those are
yeah.
going to be, something that yes, could especially if it adds up over multiple people, right? And
Yeah.
that kind of like the situation we're talking about. But I think, yeah, generally you're right. I mean, because people ask me, hey, do we need liability insurance stuff like that, and I'm like, I
I
can't really
know.
think of much, like because we're not. You're right, we're not
You want to know
needing.
what's
Yeah,
funny? If
yeah.
you try to get one of those policies, you don't even qualify.
Mm,
If you like, Berkshire Hathaway has, online forms that you can fill out for business insurance that I've helped other clients do for other things outside of voiceover. And yeah, like there's no classification. They literally go, we can't underwrite you. There's no, right? There's like, we can't find a risk or a liability. So, yeah,
right. Yeah. No,
yep,
absolutely.
yep, yep, yep,
All
yep.
right. Well, we've talked about that. That was
Yeah,
that was kind of the
I
crazy
know.
things that happened to you, and then
Crazy.
I had some internet issues
Oh
yesterday,
no.
and
Oh no.
it's just weather's definitely changing.
We've been a mess.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I love this time of year, as you know. And there's so many fun things that
Yes.
are coming up, right, in the form of
Yes.
holidays. And we always know,
Mm-hmm.
I know your favorite, my favorite, and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. But and I know we spoke briefly or we spoke earlier in the year about getting ready for the holidays and
Yes.
how, at this point, stuff you can go to the store and you already see Halloween stuff up, you already see fall stuff up, things
Yep.
going, stuff is going out. But Christmas is still coming up and everything. So I was thinking, hey, I love this time of year because I love even now if you haven't done so, it's really a good idea to start getting out things that deal with the holidays.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you want, let's chat about, things that we can do generally, whether it's demos, social
Mm.
media posting,
Yeah.
things on our website, even holiday specials. I always think it's funny as we as voice actors sometimes think that for some reason in our business, it's different. It's so different than any every other business that we never offer a special. We never offer,
Mm.
like something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
something
right,
that
right.
makes it because we are a business and people still like specials.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think so. Anyways, I wanted to maybe that's something cool to talk about. So
Yeah.
so holidays.
I mean, yeah. I mean, gosh, there's so much. I mean, I think that for sure, this time of year, you should be acknowledging the holiday season in your
Mm-hmm.
correspondence with your clients, trying to talk about their needs,
Mm-hmm.
keep you on their radar, discuss any outages that you might have because of travel.
Yes.
The sooner the better. Um, I think also, yes, specialty voices, specialty projects, things that are related to the holidays, now's the time to start thinking about those. One that I always find interesting is Christmas cards. People are
Mm.
always so lax or so late. Like if you're planning on doing a Christmas card for your clients or some kind of correspondence, get it out and like start planning that now.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're going to end up sending out Christmas cards in January and
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
you got to
Absolutely.
you got to be ahead of the ball.
No,
Um
absolutely.
yeah.
I was thinking too about so generally speaking for your marketing for this time of year.
Mm,
So if you haven't, if you think about it, I've done a lot of all kinds of for Halloween scary voices, but also scary commercial like commercial stuff.
mhm.
I've done things even for people who have car washes where they want someone's coming through and there's a scary voice in the car wash, or
Right.
there's commercials that are only typically ever seen or heard during a holiday season, right? Because
Yeah.
it wouldn't be
Yeah.
like the things we talk about, scary,
Oh
spooky things like that. So,
yeah. Mhm.
what do you think about having separate demos, right, or at least spots that we can put on for, holiday
Yeah.
season?
I mean, if it's something you do really well, then of course, there's
Mm-hmm.
no reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, every now and then, I see talent agents or I see casting directors go, "Hey, we need, give us your seasonal voice stuff." Yeah, so it's people ask for it.
Oh yeah. And I also think too, it's interesting because I'll get some people who say, "Well, Anthony, I can't. It's not my thing because, right? I don't do voices, all right, or I don't do, scary voices. I don't
Mm-hmm.
do, maybe, you know, some sort of Christmas, character
Right.
voice. So, what do I do?" And I think the point here is that you don't have to. If you have those voices, that's great. Enjoy because there are a lot of fun things, especially with social media and stuff. We can
Yes.
do a lot more character stuff, and it's more acceptable than major TV ads. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
Rudolph, or you're going to be something. You don't have to be Rudolph, like the Rudolph, in order to get the job. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But I think for us, as also if you don't have those voices, just acknowledging that we're doing something that's a holiday
Yeah.
in your actual words in the script
Mm-hmm.
can help, and it's something to put out as well as putting on socials, having pictures, things that recognize what time it is because people are looking at that, right?
Sure.
People are checking that out, they're interested in it,
Yep.
and
I
it kind
agree.
of
I
cuts
mean,
through stuff.
yeah, and I mean, look, if it's not your forte, if it's not something you don't worry about it. That's okay. It's not mandatory.
No,
It's
absolutely.
just a potential skill set. We do have a couple of questions.
Yeah, let's see.
Mm,
Tracy said, "May I ask what kind of backup do you have for internet service?" So typically, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, the only backup that I have would be if I share on my from my cell phone, but that can be
yeah, like a
spotty
hotspot. I
sometimes, like a
mean,
hotspot.
there
I don't
really isn't anything you
have a
can do.
backup
Yeah, because if your
besides
internet
that.
goes down, it's down. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no, you know,
I mean, how would you have a backup other than the hotspot? I mean, you would have two internet services? I don't know.
I guess if that's available in your area, but in many
That's
places that
interesting.
isn't.
Yeah.
I don't, and then the other thing you have to figure out is it just using the same lines?
Right. Well,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
So again, if service goes down, it goes down. It's
Hmm.
not company dependent necessarily.
Yeah, I don't
Yes, I
know.
have
Other
a
than that, I think
hotspot
a
on my
hotspot would
phone,
really
but
be it. I mean, I do
yeah.
know that there are like if you have a lot of problems, like for example, Verizon, some of these like some of the cell carriers, they'll have boxes like
Mm-hmm.
portable boxes
Yeah.
that are like that, but then you pay for the I mean,
Yeah.
and then again, that depends on your cell phone or your cell service. So I'm
It's
not, yeah, I don't
it's
know.
very expensive for
Mm-hmm.
something that you're going to use so infrequently.
Right. Right.
Honestly, in most cases, if I have a major outage and I need to get something to somebody, I
Mm-hmm.
record it and I go find a place that has internet and I send it.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah, I just get in
absolutely.
the car.
All right, Muni KO says, sounds amazing. Quick question: can you make a living off of that?
I think he's
Um,
talking about holiday voices. Yeah.
well, if you get in the
Um,
right circle, I mean,
I
certainly, just like people can
mean,
make a living off of politics, people can make
yeah,
a living off of certain things, but you definitely would have to have some, big price jobs.
it's a little harder. It's a little harder for sure. It's because again of the seasonal components of things. Yes, you would have
Hmm.
to make enough money in a very short season to be able to sustain
Right.
you for the rest of the year. That's
Yep.
unlikely. It's
Hmm.
not impossible, but it's not the norm. I think like anything else, it's just a part of what we do. It's just an
Right.
offering,
Yeah.
and it's just a fun component. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think, I mean, because that makes me think not necessarily voiceover, but like for example, people who do like Santa Claus,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and they do Santa
The
Claus
mall Santa.
gigs, you know what I
Yep.
mean? Yeah, and that's like what they do a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even started seeing the Santas pop up on like TikTok, where they do the lives and they're in their
Yes.
shop and they're doing stuff
It's
and
really cute.
yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see. We've got is it okay if you share a YouTube link for your voiceover demo when you don't have your own website for direct marketing? Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, Gabby and I are really big proponents of YouTube, and we talked about early on this show how important we thought, YouTube being, your main or at least your social media as part
Yeah.
of, that most voice actors kind of overlook, right? But you got to think, I've had some of my secret sauce, if you will, has been using YouTube links in emails, even in proposals sending to people because people seem to be more apt to click on YouTube. I've
Mm.
just noticed. You know what I mean? Especially if, like in your case, you say you don't have
People
a
love
website.
video.
They
Yeah.
do. They do. And if you don't have a website, you can make a YouTube channel look good. It's free. And, it gives you some credibility because you're on YouTube.
I was having an interesting conversation with my concrete contractor who's
Hmm.
been doing some of this work at my house, and
Yeah.
he said we were talking about his website and his social media and marketing in general, and he goes, "Yeah, he's like, everybody in this business knows." You can show pictures of your work all day long, but until you start posting video, you don't stop the scroll. And he goes, and I know it sounds crazy, but somebody seeing concrete being poured, cured, worked, he's like, it's people are fascinated. And he goes, and it stops the sort anything that
It's
is
true. Now I remember
a
they did a funny thing about. I think it was men. Like they're like this guy. You watch and I've seen it. And I'm like, because I think what it is all of us. I mean, at least I know for guys, a lot like we like to like. I'm like always thinking, oh, I could do that, and it's always. But I've never. So you watch and you're like, ooh, that's kind of interesting, and they're putting stuff. I don't know why it's
but
interesting, but it is.
there are people that see us that way. It's the
Yes.
same thing. It's that fascination that, oh, maybe I could do that. Oh, that's really
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Oh, look at that. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that. That people love. We love to see processes. We love to see other people doing and creating and making. And yeah.
And here's a mistake I think a lot of voice actors make when it comes to social media and posting content. A lot of times we think that if our content doesn't pop up on the desk of the person who's hiring a voiceover job right at this moment, then
Mm,
it's useless to post content,
mm-mm.
right? And the reality is that I think that most of the things that we do on social media end up reaching people secondhand, third hand. Somebody recommends somebody because they've been seeing somebody, they've been following. Like we don't want to think so linear when it comes to, posting something on social media. Like if you know what I mean, it's only how many people view it
Agreed.
at that moment. It's also can be
Yeah.
people who have nothing to do with hiring voice actors, but knows somebody who happens to mention you. This is that's where the eyeballs come in, right? The more eyeballs you can get on your work. Good.
So there's a really strange. I don't know that much about it, but I've heard people talking about it and I've just kind of half paid attention to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
There is a video circulating right now. It's some kind of travel video, and there is a British woman narrating this 30-second ad. And don't ask me how, it went viral. It's nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds an awful lot like Kat Siggers, right?
Okay, right, right,
you
right. Yeah.
know?
Okay.
And There's nothing remarkable about the performance. There's nothing remarkable about the commercial. Somehow, people have just decided that this woman is the ideal British voice, and this thing has completely, yeah, like huge following right now. So I'm in Home Goods yesterday, in the evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the woman next to me in an aisle is playing that stupid commercial. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Like, so it just goes to show you where our career, even like, if I had looked at her, right, and I had gone, oh, that's cool, you're listening to that viral video with that woman, I'm a voice actor, I probably would have struck up a whole
Mm-hmm.
conversation with her, right, about what we do, and but that's how it happens sometimes,
Oh yeah.
you
Oh
know?
yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
is, and so that's why I think that if especially we started on this conversation about talking about this time of year, and getting on your socials and things like that. But don't think that doing these things are useless or they're
Yeah.
not because someone. I mean, Gabby, I don't know. Well, you've been in. Gosh, you've been in media a long time, but I think for people who've not been in media for a long time but
Yeah.
are doing this now, I remember when I was little, and starting my voiceover business and then thinking about marketing it, I always still defaulted to this idea that it was a commercial, like a TV commercial. Like
Right.
that's how we market.
Yeah.
It's a one to one. Here's a sales pitch. Either you buy it or you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I see a lot of us, especially many of us who happen to be older.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of us, I
Oh, I
still think
talk about it a
sometimes like
lot
that.
in my commercial classes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and so because of that, we don't think of marketing the way most people market, like the way
Yeah.
we're marketing today.
Yeah.
You know?
Munico, he filled in the missing piece. Yeah, yes, it's the Jet 2 holiday
Yes,
ad.
missing
That's
piece.
what
A
it
Jet
is.
2
The
holiday.
Jet 2, yeah, and I mean, and
Everybody
like,
knows it.
it's so weird that this became, but think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
And suddenly you realize, right, that woman who recorded that, I am sure never in a million years did she think that that was going to happen. So it just goes to show you could post something super innocuous, random, and like some you're going to wake up one day and go, "Holy crap, I got 200,000 followers overnight."
Right.
You
And
know?
and and it can change. I mean, we've all the stories of people's careers and things
Yeah.
starting to more and more it pops up with people things doing this, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden now, because remember, if you have a following of people,
Mm.
a lot of people, then that means you can. I mean, other marketers
Oh
or
yeah.
or people will think, okay, well now you can sell to those people, or now you
Yes.
can market it
Yes.
because you have a large following, right? That's all they're trying to look. It's the
Mhm.
influencer age that we live in,
Yes.
right?
And it really does. It changes your career forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We are way over
We are
time.
way over time. It has been so wonderful. We're back. We're
We
at
are.
it. It is so nice. And thank you guys so much for being here and being a part of it today.
Yes.
Don't forget, this is an excellent time to check out VO Journey Academy. We've got so many exciting things going on tonight. I think we've got a wonderful script workout with one of our amazing coaches,
Yep.
and we've already had a couple classes this week. Gabby, you were doing double time this week. So it's been a lot of fun,
Mm-hmm.
and we hope to see you. Have a wonderful day. You guys take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.